Did you know that President Trump attempted to purchase Greenland in 2019? This enormous island, roughly the size of Western Europe, contains the second largest ice sheet in the world after Antarctica, with 80% of its surface covered in ice. So what gives it its name? Greenland. Eric the Red, a Viking, gave it the name to entice immigrants. In this video, we'll look at the Inuit people of Greenland's unusual practice of sharing mates, as well as the long, dark evenings that can last up to 6 months. Come along as we unveil the mysteries of the stunning scenery and culture of Greenland. First, the past. Unbelievably, the US has made multiple attempts to acquire Greenland. The first attempt was made in 1867 when the Secretary of State of the United States eyed Greenland after obtaining Alaska from Russia, but there was no official offer. Greenland had historical ties to the Danish crown and was a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Greenland received autonomy from Denmark in 1979, which gave its local government a number of new powers. Greenland now handles its own international relations. After being settled by Vikings in the 10th century, this enigmatic and isolated region developed into an important trading hub and vital location on the North Atlantic sea routes. Many indigenous civilizations have flourished in Greenland throughout history, including the Inuit, because of the difficult, unforgiving climate. Due to internal strife, dwindling trade routes, and climate change, Viking hegemony came to an end in the 15th century. Following the Vikings, Greenland remained a secluded region where the Inuit people carried on their customs of fishing and hunting. Greenland has changed significantly in the contemporary era. It resumed its Danish status in the 18th century, began to acquire autonomy in the 1970s, and has grown in significance on the international stage as a result of its advantageous location in the Arctic. Examining how the ancient Inuit practice of sharing partners reflects a community's adaptation to harsh environments will pique your interest if you're fascinated by how historical events shape modern cultures and societies. This practice is similar to the strategic interest in Greenland's geography that has captivated global powers for centuries. 2. Partner sharing. With its unique social practices, Greenland's Inuit culture has always been closely linked to the natural world and the requirements of a subsistence way of life. These customs developed to fortify ties throughout the society and provide mutual assistance over the protracted, severe Arctic winters. Greenland's harsh environment necessitated close-knit communities where existence depended on trust and collaboration. Families would share partners as a way to strengthen ties and promote a sense of collective responsibility. Inuit families typically inhabited houses connected by underground tunnels called igloos, which allowed them to communicate and assist one another through the harsh winter months without having to venture outdoors. This group encouraged resource sharing and teamwork, which are essential for survival. This custom had useful advantages in addition to being a social arrangement. Families could lower the risk of inbreeding by ensuring genetic variety within the small, remote groups by trading spouses. This practice also made it easier for people to share labor and resources, which was essential in times of scarcity. But in modern Greenland, this practice is raro and has significantly decreased due to modernization and shifting social mores. The Greenlandic Inuits' traditional way of life, including their customs, has been greatly impacted by outside forces including economic development and climatic change. What do you think of the long-standing Inuit custom of sharing partners in order to fortify ties within the group and guarantee survival in the hostile Arctic climate? How does this differ from the way our own communities are established and sustained today? Post your ideas in the comments section below. 3. Visual impairment due to snow. Imagine walking across snow-covered landscapes for the entire day, the harsh glare of the sun shining straight into your eyes from the white surface. Snow blindness is a painful ailment that can develop from this over time, since the large amounts of ice and snow in Greenland increase the reflection of UV light. Snow blindness, also known as photokeratitis, is a widespread problem there. This disorder causes symptoms like eye pain, redness, blurred vision, tearing, and transient vision loss. It is similar to getting a sunburn on your eyes. With no eye protection, it can happen after just a few hours of exposure to intense sunlight. Because of Greenland's plentiful snowfall and intense summer heat, there is a heightened risk of snow blindness. The region's particular climate, which includes the midnight sun's presence in the summer, results in extended exposure to UV radiation. The sun's rays are still powerful in the winter because of the reflected qualities of snow and ice. For anyone spending a lot of time in these reflected settings, snow blindness becomes a serious risk. Fourth, the night of polar bears. If you're considering a vacation to Greenland, you should be aware of the polar night, an amazing natural occurrence. In short, the northernmost parts experience a period of up to 6 months during which the sun never rises. There is very little light at this period of time, just a few hours of twilight around midday. Because of Earth's axial tilt, which is about 23.2 degree, the Arctic Circle leans away from the sun during the winter, resulting in the polar night. Because of this, parts of the Arctic Circle, such as northern Greenland, experience protracted periods of darkness. In Connacht and other northern Greenland, complete darkness does not always accompany the polar night. First, there are twilight hours in October and November when the sun is partially below the horizon, offering some natural light during the day. But as December draws nearer, the darkness deepens and eventually results in full polar night conditions, a state in which there is absolutely no sunshine. The residents' physical and mental well-being may suffer greatly as a result of this extended darkness. SAD, or seasonal affective disorder, is a common condition brought on by the absence of sunshine. Often, light treatment is employed to lessen its effects. Despite these difficulties, the hardy residents of Greenland have adapted to the harsh environment by figuring out how to keep busy and interested during the lengthy dark months. I want to ask each of you to give me 10 seconds before we move on. We would appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button. We would really value it. We'll continue to improve the show for you in exchange. Alright. 5. Harmony between cultures. The cohabitation of Danish and Inuit cultures in Greenland results in a distinctive and intriguing fusion. Greenland, an autonomous province of the Kingdom of Denmark, is a noteworthy example of the blending of traditions and practices from the two cultures. Rooted in the original people of Greenland, the Inuit culture is distinguished by a nomadic lifestyle, a strong connection to the environment, and a deep reverence for nature. The Inuit have evolved special survival abilities, such ice fishing, building igloos, and hunting seals and whales to help them survive the harsh Arctic climate. Many people who live in Greenland still speak their language, Inuktitut, which is one of the official languages of the region. Conversely, Greenland has been greatly impacted by Danish culture, especially in the colonial era. Christianity, Western education, and political organization were brought to the island by the Danes. Danish influence can still be seen in Greenland's everyday life, architecture, and food, even though the island is autonomous. Greenland is more diverse now because of this blending of two different civilizations. June is designated as Greenland's National Day, which honors the territory's independence and distinct cultural character. In addition to Danish literature, music, and food, the lively cultural scene includes Inuit art, music, and crafts. The intriguing fusion of Danish and Inuit influences results in a colorful tapestry of life on this enormous island, where customs from two quite different countries collide. 6th, the greatest park. The largest national park in the world is located in Greenland and covers an area of more than 972,000 square kilometers, or around 375,000 square miles. It was founded on May 26, 1974, and grew to its present extent in 1988, taking up all of northeastern Greenland. To put this park's enormous size into perspective, consider that it is larger than most nations. Northeast Greenland National Park is home to a breathtaking variety of environments, including vast fjords, untamed mountains, and ice sheets. The park's environment and climate are shaped by the permanent ice cover that covers about 80% of it. Despite these unforgiving circumstances, the summertime weather along the northern and southern coasts is comparatively pleasant, garnering the northernmost point the moniker Arctic Riviera. The park does not contain any long-term human settlements, but it does have a number of year-round military and scientific outposts. Among these are the Zackenberg Research Station and the headquarters of the Danish military unit Sirius Patrol, which is responsible with keeping watch over this isolated region of Greenland and patrolling it. Scientists and the occasional tourists, mostly from cruise ships, swarm the area in the summer. Important archaeological sites from the Paleo-Inuit and Neo-Inuit societies can also be found in the area. The frigid weather has kept artifacts from these antiquated societies, such tent rings and tools, in excellent condition, providing important new information about early human residence and adaptation techniques in the Arctic. If you're excited by the prospect of exploring a national park the size of most countries, just wait until you learn about the amazing species that lives in Greenland, all of which is specially adapted to the harsh Arctic climate of the island. 7. Variable flora. The fauna of Greenland is extraordinarily varied and specially suited to the harsh Arctic climate. Famous big creatures including seals, Arctic foxes, musk oxen, and polar bears can be found on the island. These animals are well suited to endure in hostile environments marked by extreme cold and a lack of supplies. In addition, a wide variety of seabirds, including Arctic terns, guillemots, and puffins, call Greenland home, making it a perfect place for them to breed and build nests. A major hub for migratory animals, the surrounding waterways are alive with marine life, including several types of fish, whales, and seals. Polar bears live mostly on land along the northeastern coast, where they hunt seals using sea ice. Preying on lemmings and birds, Arctic foxes are widely distributed throughout the island. In the western areas, musk oxen are abundant, and the big herds of reindeer are important to the customs of local hunters. The maritime environment is equally varied and home to beluga whales, narwhals, and walruses. Because of the importance of these species to the local economy and cuisine, Greenland is a special destination for lovers of wildlife, with salmon, whales, and seals providing vital resources for the Inuit people. Greenland's long-standing hunting and fishing traditions continue to play a major role in the region's economic and cultural legacy. In order to maintain the fragile balance of this isolated Arctic environment and guarantee its vitality for future generations, sustainable management approaches are essential. This custom demonstrates the profound reverence that Greenlanders have for the natural world, as well as their dedication to sustainable living in one of the harshest places on Earth.